Because migrant neighbors decided that they wanted to build a monstrosity in a Fairfax neighborhood, and people are pissed at it. All right. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. We're going to spend 12, 13 minutes on this one. All right.
In Virginia neighborhood tonight over a new addition being built onto a house. Fox News' Bob Barnard in Fairfax County with the details and a look at that construction causing the uproar.
It really is a sight to behold here on Marble Lane in the Greenbrier section of Fairfax County. That three-story addition to a home built in the 1960s that's now the talk and outrage of the neighborhood.
I mean, it looks like a townhouse. It looks like a portion of a townhouse that has been added on to a small A-framed one-story house.
Is that almost a flat roof? I don't even think that roof is sloped enough for when it snows. Oh boy. Oh boy. Honestly, when I first started reviewing this video, when I first looked at this and your car sent it to me, I said, that looked like a disaster waiting to happen. And I was only looking at it as far as how close it was to the neighbor's house next to it. It looks like an apartment building. It looks like an apartment building.
Courtney Leonard lives literally in the shadow of the new addition being
And Courtney is the one that called the police, just to let y'all know.
Built onto her next door neighbor's house.
Design-wise, it doesn't look anything like what it's attached to or anything.
Look at the scale of that mug compared to what them standing next to it. Hey, the neighbors ain't no joke, bro. You can already see the plywood look like it's starting to come off of it. Can y'all see that? Look at the plywood in the upper right hand, like the middle right hand corner, the middle window. Look at the plywood on the middle window. The plywood is already starting to come off. I don't know about y'all, and I'm gonna break this down, but let me tell you something. Inspectors here in Michigan and all of the cities that I've worked with, they on your ass, boy. The time that it takes me to build a house can be significantly lower if I didn't have to deal with the inspectors, the engineers, the departments. They don't mess around here in Michigan. What I thought was going to take me a year took me 18 months because they don't play here in Michigan. You got to have your I's dotted, your T's crossed. When you get your house together, when I build a house, it's a house. It ain't going nowhere. It's there. When I build a house, it ain't going nowhere because the inspectors here don't fuck around. They don't mess around. The plywood is already starting to come off. The roof don't even have no slope. How do you get approved to be able to build a 3-story house? And let me tell you how they did it. When you go to a meeting, when you ask for a variance, right? And a variance is something that goes outside, slightly outside of the guidelines. Let's say you want to build slightly higher, or, you know, you're still on your property line, but they say that you got to build within so many feet of the end of the property line in order to, you know, whatever, so on and so forth. And different cities have different criteria. It is called a code variance. Different cities have a different criteria. They zone it a certain way because you can't do certain things in certain neighborhoods, right? So what happens is you have to go before the city council, which also brings an engineer or it brings a certain person from the department, and you have to schedule it and you have to make your pitch. And I've done so plenty of times because I want to move it 6 inches to a foot. I don't want to deal with the possibility of getting caught up with no foolishness. So we always proactive. If we go for a variance and we say, hey, listen, we got plenty of backyard back there. Y'all got old laws. We want our house to extend a little bit further into the backyard because we don't need no massive yard. We just want to have a deck, or we want our deck to extend a little bit further across the house. We don't want it to just be this little small square. So you go for a variance. You ask for a variance when it comes to certain things. I've always been approved for my variance, but here's the key. It's not about getting approved. It's about the fact that the neighbors have an opportunity to voice a concern for whatever it is that you're pitching. So you're on a docket. They tell you what you're on a docket for. It goes out to the community most of the time. 98, 99% of us don't pay attention to what is happening in city council until it's too late. Then people want to protest and people want to go and they say, oh no, we don't want this, or like she's doing right now. But what really happens is they give the entire community an opportunity to say, hey, listen, I don't want that variance where it's going to be too big, or it's not going to match up with the aesthetic of the neighborhood, or the lot is too small, or whatever. And the city council people, this is why politics is important. For you to get involved with your community, for you to get involved with what's happening in your community, you can determine whether or not a business is going to open up on a corner. You can determine whether or not they're going to put a new gas station in. You can determine whether or not this big company is looking to get tax breaks. You can start to voice your concern. You can participate in the success of your own community. And so I guarantee you, even though they didn't have laws on the books to prevent them from doing the bullshit that they're doing, I guarantee you that the community had an opportunity to get involved and either to add laws, prevent laws, to participate in the success of their own communities and to stop this from happening. You can proactively stop it from happening by going reading your laws and going reading your codes and how they zone. And you can go and say, hey, listen, this is what I want. When politicians come to y'all and they say, hey, listen, what do you want in order for me to get your vote? That is when you are supposed to participate in the political process because it is your community. This is Fairfax. I don't know what community it is, but that is your opportunity. Black people keep asking for dumb shit. White people keep asking for dumb shit. Everybody keep asking for stupid things inside of their community because they're not paying attention to the real issues and what you want. You can say, hey, I don't want tax breaks to go to this, or hey, listen, I know that they're looking to pitch and build a new stadium, or I see that it's a developer or, a corporate entity that's looking to buy up all of the land and all of the property. We need to stop this. We need to participate. We need to do this, and so on and so forth. So now you got the neighbors, migrant neighbors that's looking to bring in 3 generations of people. That's literally what's happening now. They're bringing in 3 generations of people to live in an apartment building that's attached to the house. And you could have stopped it, but you didn't. And now you got to live next to it. You could have stopped it, you didn't. Now you got to live next to it.
Anything else in the neighborhood.
Courtney says there's no HOA here, so no rules that have to be followed.
And that's another thing. This is why HOAs came to prominence in the 90s and the 2000s. HOAs came to prominence. It was a extreme solution to a problem that we had started being seen. And so people wanted to maintain a standard, didn't want their property values to go down, didn't want drugs, didn't want certain things happening in the neighborhood. And that is why they started to implement HOAs outside of buildings where people bought condos. Condos were largely for, and that's why a lot of times if you see an HOA, it'll say a condo in this condo, even though it's a house, is because a lot of times they're designating the area as a condo so that they can then charge you an HOA fee to control what is happening inside of the neighborhood so you don't have shit like this happening. Now, if you got pretty much good neighbors and stuff like that, most of the time, you don't have to worry about it. But HOAs now have gotten out of control to where they're using it like we always do. We use an extreme value of everything to go and take other people's houses or to put liens on people's houses or to control how much they get. And so they've become corrupt in a lot of places. I have a home that I own, that I rent out, that is in an HOA, but I only pay $45 a month. Something like that. $40 a month, $120 every 3 months. Every quarter, we got to pay it every quarter. So, my HOAs for that particular environment, and I've owned that house since the 2000s, have never really raised. They've only gone up like $5 or something like that. So there are communities where HOAs are okay. But this in particular, this could have been prevented on so many fronts.
Other neighbors tell us they're okay with this, that 3 generations of a very nice family will be living here. That family told us they had nothing to add to our story.
They bring in grandma and her crew. They bring in all the grandma's kids. They bring in the cousins, the sisters, the brothers. Everybody is coming into the neighborhood now. They don't even know if they got this level of parking for this.
According to the zoning laws, they are well within their rights, and there's really nothing I can do about it.
Courtney says she and her family were given no advance notice.
It seems to me that when you put something like this up, you want to talk to your neighbors about it, but we have not spoken to them since.
It feels like it's not real when you see it. I mean, you've seen it, so yeah, it's shocking.
Did you see the pitch on that house?
Like it's not real when you see it. I mean, you.
That's crazy. That is almost a flat roof. That is almost a flat roof. There is no real pitch on that roof. That's going to be bad.
Seen it, so yeah, it's shocking.
Katie Dash lives several blocks away and says she's alarmed, like many who know about this.
And so I think we're all just concerned if it could happen to her, it could happen to any of us. And I'm still confused how it was approved. I think that's our biggest issue in the neighborhood. It's like how there has to be something wrong.
It's been weeks and weeks of back and forth. And
you see how it's completely blocked out the sun? Don't get no solar panels. You're not going to get no energy. Don't go get a power wall. Don't get nothing. It is completely blocked out the sun. They staring in the shade. That's crazy, bro. I will put my house up for sale immediately.
I love this neighborhood, and the people in it have been so helpful. It just feels like there's nowhere else to go at this point.
We turned to Pat Harity for clarification. He's the Fairfax County supervisor for this area and has been out to see this with his own eyes.
Clearly does not belong in our suburban neighborhoods, a structure like that, 8.5 feet from the property line, three stories tall for the length of the lot. It has no place. And we need to fix our zoning ordinance to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Supervisor Harity says he's going to propose that fix at the board's meeting next Tuesday. In the meantime, late today, we heard from Fairfax County staff that while this addition does fall within the zoning guidelines for height, as built, it's too close to Courtney's property line.
That looked crazy. That is insane, bro. That is absolutely insane. So, anyways, y'all can't prevent this. You too can prevent forest fires. Y'all can prevent this. Y'all can stop it. But you choose not to because you don't believe in participating in the political process.